Hi, everybody. We are live in the chat.
Hello, hello. Hello, internet and Facebook and fans and everyone. It's good to see you.
Readers, it is launch day, which means that we are excited, a little delirious, and a little over-caffeinated.
We're peppy today.
Speak for yourself. No.
I'm peppy. We joke that we're always excited to talk about our issues and our stories because it's true.
True. And we have a new issue, which means we're extra excited.
Yep, spring 2021, hot off the digital press.
That's right.
As of just hours ago.
Yep, that's absolutely right. With the theme for this issue is shifting currents, which we're excited to talk about, and we're excited to tell you a little bit about the stories that you'll find.
Yeah, so shifting currents we're profiling pieces that bring to life forces of change. So these can be gentle, these can be fierce. They shape our multifaceted pasts, presents, and futures.
Yes,
And so this issue has something for everyone.
It does. It has whales, communists, sharks,
surfers,
and Renaissance era royalty. So literally something for everyone.
Yes, let's start with the whales, shall we?
Of course, whales and demons, because it's in our chasing demons department.
That's true. Such a good department. Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, this story was written and photographed by Jamina Garland Lewis. It's our photo feature. And Jamina is a Pacific Northwest and Baja California shore-based photographer. She's a scientist. She's an explorer. She has a very impressive resume. She's a National Geographic explorer, amongst other things.
We'll talk more about how cool she is.
That's true. When we have our article club with her. So she is going to be joining us on Tuesday, May 18th, is when that article club will run. So I'll get to wax poetic about her impressive resume then.
Yes, and this story it's about her year-long journey around the world, where she visited 7 different countries, 2 of which are featured prominently in the story, and looking at humankind's relationship to whales and whaling.
Yes, and her relationship to her own cultural bias about the issue, which is fascinating. The piece is called Wailing and the Paradox of Mercy. We were particularly excited to publish it because we get to bring nuance to a very hotly debated topic.
Right. And now I think we're on to communists.
Yes, we are. So this story is called The Abyss. Very seldomly do you see articles about Albanian history and the power of art in travel publications, but you see one in this issue, and it's such a fascinating story.
That's right. It's a portrait. It's in our portrait department, and it's a portrait of a lot of things, of many things. It could be, it's a portrait of an artist who leapt off the edge of convention and lost masterpieces. It's a portrait of a country in transition from a dictatorship and a communist regime to where it is now, which is a democratic nation. And it's also a portrait of the power of art itself and the many ways in which that power is often wielded. And Lottie Gross is the journalist who wrote the story. She's an award-winning travel writer and editor, and she'll be on the road for work, of course, but SB squared, as Sabine and I are sometimes known, as we're sometimes known, will be discussing her piece on May 4th.
Yes, so we're excited to talk about it and definitely check it out, The Abyss. And now we're going to leap to the next story, which is about sharks, a particular shark, actually.
Yes, a very specific shark.
Yes, so this piece is called Lost in the Shallows. It is our time travel piece. And I'm excited about this piece because it's particularly fitting for the new era of Hidden Compass. We talk a lot about the new age of exploration and our mission to champion a new age of exploration. And that's definitely a theme in the story. The story is about, it takes us into the murky waters of the Bengal Delta, and we search for this vanishing enigmatic shark, which is pretty freaking cool in itself. But like all great stories, it goes further and it examines how modern exploration is very different from how exploration used to be. And, before we were fighting rhinos and pythons in these uncharted waters, and now we face challenges that humankind has never seen before.
I object to the idea that we no longer fight pythons. We don't fight them. I mean, I don't know that we fight pythons, but I've been in India during the monsoon season when the river is rising and there are snakes coming out of the river. So I don't know about that.
It's not as cutting edge as it used to be. It used to be that you go out and fighting rhinos and tigers and pythons was kind of the point. And now I guess for people like Sivani, it's just a perk, perhaps.
But this is a time travel story that takes us back in time to early Western exploration of the Sivans, and it's a shifting landscape that Colin portrays beautifully, both in the version from a century ago, as Sabine mentioned, and the one that's happening now, a century and a half ago, I guess is the original version, and then also what's happening now.
Yeah, and Colin is a freelance journalist who's based in Bengaluru, and we'll be speaking with him next Tuesday on April 20th. So a week from right now.
Yes. And then we move on to Blue and Toulouse, which is a quest story. And I'm excited about this one because I have a soft spot for the history stories and for the historical mysteries that we sometimes get to shed light on. And this is one of those. And so it is our journalist, Mariah Costa, telling us a story that was largely forgotten about Renaissance era France and a little known predecessor of Indigo.
Yes, it was so largely forgotten. Actually, this story became our quest piece because a lot of it is Mariah working to revive this story for Hidden Compass. And I'm excited because it's a story about color, and we have a watercolor artist who wrote it. I mean, she's a watercolor artist. She's also a journalist and an editor. And so she brings a lot of different areas of expertise to the story.
And she didn't just write this story, she also illustrated this story.
Yeah. So we have, her custom illustrations for the piece that she wrote appear in the magazine. So go check those out. And we're going to talk to her for our article club on Tuesday, May 11th. So put that in your calendar.
Yes. And last but not least, we have A River of Unknowns, which is about a river, but probably not the kind you're thinking of. And it's in our Human and Nature department, which makes sense because it's about climate change and human identity.
Yes. And Morgan Tilton, she's a creative writer and reporter. She's the author of the piece, and she travels from the snow-coated mountains of Vancouver Island to the infamous waves of its coast for this story. And we're going to get to chat with her for our article club on April 27th.
Yep. And so that is the issue. Of course, with every new issue, there's a new set of campaigns. So those are all live, and certainly show your support for these journalists who tell these wonderful stories that shed light on discoveries and history and the things that are really important to all of us.
Yes. And the way these campaigns work, if you've forgotten, is that we split the proceeds 50-50. 50% goes to Hidden Compass to support us in our work and our mission, to showcase journalists and explorers and storytellers and champion a new age of discovery, as I mentioned. And the other 50% of the proceeds go to support the author of each of these stories directly on top of their pay for the piece. So it allows you as a reader to, if you feel touched by any of these stories, to directly support the people who worked on it.
Definitely. And with that, we will be back next week with our first edition of the article club for this issue. We'll be talking to Colin about sharks, and that's a conversation we're looking forward to. There's also the podcast to check out. New episode drops tomorrow morning.
That's right. Yes. In a matter of hours. And sign up for our newsletter too, because if you are scrolling through Facebook and you have just found this event and you're like, there's a new issue, how would I have known?
Yes.
The newsletter is how you would have known. So go onto our website and sign up for that, and you can hear about all of the crazy things that we're doing at Hidden Compass.
And we will see y'all next week.
Take care, everyone.